employed now, and I'm using my time to travel around Europe before I go back to Canada. And I have some time in London where I'm basically doing nothing. And in this time, I've been thinking a lot, writing a little bit, analyzing things, and the topic of gratefulness has come up quite a lot because so many people in my life, and I think society as a whole, are so wrapped up in what they want in the now and in the near future. People want a new car, they want a new job, they want new shoes, they want to buy a house, they want more money, they want a better partner, or they even want a partner. They want to complete this project and another project. It's a lot of I want, I want, I want, I want, um, especially in London. And people get upset and sometimes even miserable or obsessed when they can't obtain the things that they're really wanting. I have found that people often want instead of being grateful for what they have in the here and now and what's working in the present. I think a lot of people underestimate how much in control they are of their own thoughts and, in turn, their own destiny. To be able to appreciate what's working well now in the moment is a remarkable thing, even if it starts with appreciating your own life and waking up, appreciating that. That's something to be grateful for. To have the opportunity to take advantage of all the wonderful things in life is the biggest gift we've been given, and we should be grateful for it. I think what happens to a lot of people is they take their own thoughts too seriously. Everyone has thoughts that comes into their mind, thousands of them a day. But like I just mentioned, people underestimate the power and control they have over these thoughts. Not every thought that comes into your head is rational or reality, and it's important to question our thoughts, to analyze them, and to ultimately keep things in perspective to whatever we're going through. People get so caught up in what they're going through and they forget that there's other people that are always going through something worse. And then there's people that are going through something even worse than those people. I mean, that's really easy to see in something like my field, like homelessness. But so many people who don't work in homelessness or are not being grateful or appreciative just get so wrapped up in their own problems. And what I've seen is people who are worse off than me, so say live in poverty, say are a refugee, are so much more positive and ambitious to make the changes they need to make for their circumstances to improve. Now, why is this? I think it's because it's so easy for us, like places in England and Canada, and I suspect Australia, maybe America, or New Zealand. It's easy for us in these countries for us not to be so grateful for the many things that we have. I mean, one of the biggest things we can be grateful for in places like England and Canada is the choices that we have. We can choose what job we want to a certain extent. I know the economy is bad, but we can choose what field we go into. We can choose if we want to be educated, how we want to be educated, or not be educated at all formally maybe, who we want to marry. Most of us choose who we want to marry, what religion or culture we want to practice. We live in a state of peace. I mean, these choices are a gift, and so many of us just take them for granted, or it doesn't even come into their awareness. I mean, if you have good health and you have people around you that care about you, you have an abundance to be grateful for. But even people who have poor health or who are isolated still have the power to make choices to change their circumstances. And the power of choice to change your circumstances is something to be really appreciated. The opportunity for mobility and travel, as many of us have here in England and Canada, is a remarkable thing. And it's something that our grandparents didn't have, and most people in the world don't have the opportunity for mobility like people do in England, Canada, America, Australia, New Zealand. We're so lucky. Smaller things like trees, nature, clean water is something that we take for granted, but it's such a huge thing, but few of us appreciate. To share a meal with a friend, to connect with people, to share a drink, to have a chat, to have a laugh. These are remarkable things that many of us do on a weekly basis. I mean, and we take it for granted. I mean, in the end, it's all it is the people we surround ourselves with, whether that's family, friends, lovers, or partners. But I find a lot of us take the people in our lives for granted. Small things again, like a flower, a baby, the sky, the elderly. I mean, there's things all around us. If we can look through different lenses, we can be grateful for and maybe even inspired. Life is a gift. Even if you're not religious, as I am not, it's such a remarkable thing that we're all here and that we all have these unique and different talents and strengths, and we can use these to help improve the societies we live in. Getting wrapped up in what you don't have and what you want will always be an uphill battle, but if you can take the time to count the things you do have and what's going well in your life, this can shift your perspective into a mindset of more calm and tranquility. Taking the time to appreciate what is around yourself is one of the biggest gifts you can give to yourself. I get it. Sometimes it can be hard to be grateful. Bad things are going to happen. There's going to be death, there's going to be war, there's going to be unemployment, there's going to be abuse. But if you can get through these life events and then start to be grateful again for what you do have, this will leave you with a more peaceful state of mind. And I think if everyone was more grateful, a more peaceful world as a whole would develop. I know it's really idealistic, but that's what I think. I mean, a colleague of mine told me years ago when I was moving from Canada to England and I was worried what was I going to do in England. He said to me that it doesn't matter where you are, what you do, but your happiness comes from within. So I think by practicing being grateful, this can happen. It's always easier to think of what you don't have than to appreciate what you do have. But everyone has something to be grateful for every day. I recommend, if you're having a hard time realizing what you should be grateful for, at the end of the day, write down just one thing that you're grateful for. And you'll see through time that you have many, many things to be grateful for. And this will shift your perspective. I think it's okay to be ambitious and to strive after things in this life. I know I do. But if one can practice being grateful for what they have in the here and now, however small it is, it will give you a better sense of peace of mind. It will allow you to see what's really important to achieve in this life, and it'll make you more pleasant to be around for others. When you are practicing being grateful, you will attract other people who are also grateful. In my experience, those who are grateful also have a more positive outlook on life, and these kind of people gravitate towards each other. To achieve in this life, it's important you surround yourself with positive, ambitious people. To change yourself and to change your own perspective, you will attract others around you. I mean, it's up to you how you want to live your life, but I think by practicing gratefulness, you can have a more fulfilled, happier, calmer, and ultimately do better in this world. Thanks for listening. Bye!